whole show.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new 2025 RDX $419 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take $10,000 off a 2025 Acura MDX during our 17th anniversary sale.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moodias Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moodias Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodias.dental. Moodias Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodiasdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Friends, Romans, and countrymen, epic deals await you at Toyota of Hollywood. You don't have to battle to get discounts of up to $4,500. Your chariot awaits. A Toyota Corolla, not $24,000, $19,988. Step into our arena where everyone is victorious at the #1 volume Toyota dealer, Toyota of Hollywood, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new Acura ZDX, $439 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. Ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
Morning, boys and girls, ready to rock and roll. I hope you had a great weekend, because I had a great weekend. Hope you are feeling good, because I'm feeling good. Yes, sir. When you take advantage of that dip, you take advantage. That's what it's all about. Yeah. There you go. Subaru Pembroke Pines. Save $500. Take advantage of that dip, too. Right there. Anyway, good morning, boys and girls. Hope you all are doing well out there. The great Sean Stanley, of course, mastering the program and the platform. And after a long week, actually, because we actually had a 6th program on Saturday, and we had a great time out there at Beyond Bankcard Field. And the ladies played to an exciting 3-3 tie. Not really what we want to see. We want to see a win because we always want to see our local teams win. But there was a lot of goal scoring and a lot of action going back, especially at second half, dude. You know, it's kind of like, okay, 1-0 lead, first half, control, and then all hell broke loose in the second half with 5 goals. So that was something I think most of us were there. We did not expect that to happen. That was explosive. That was fun and wild. But anyway, so a good weekend. Dolphins beat the Jags 14-6. A lot of bad stuff there, some good stuff there too. So, mixed stuff. We'll get into that. Inter Miami and DC United played a 1-1 tie, which was good because they were trailing 1-0. And un golazo by Rodriguez in that 64th minute. That was good. So Miami FC took a beating. By the way, where's the excitement for all the Marlins there? I'm just checking, just checking. If all that enthusiasm for the Marlins, is it still there after they dropped 2 of 3 again over the weekend? Just wondering, it's just like I said, you guys really, like most of us, we don't really care about it, but you just like kind of acted like you did. I'm sure there's a couple of seam heads out there, and hey, God bless you out there. There's a couple of you that can't live without baseball. Those are but that's like 3 or 4 of you out there. The rest of us are like, we could kind of live without the Marlins being who they are. But anyway, it's just funny how it all died out already. I don't know what the streak is now. It's like 6-15 or 16 or something like that. So it's funny how that has died out. But anyway, we got a lot of things to talk about on the show. David Furones will join us today. The cuts already started. They cut the teacher, Aaron Shamklin. I know that. So Sean, start following anything on cuts Dolphins-wise, because it's going to start happening over the next 48 hours since they have to get down to 53 by tomorrow. And they'll start making some of the easier ones today that are, pretty obvious, so guys can either move on with their lives or try to find some, work somewhere else. So I know I saw that that Ian Rappaport reported that Aaron Shamklin was getting released. Let's see, and I don't know if I've seen anything else from there. So if you've seen anything else, Sean, please, as always, and good morning to you, sir. All right. Oh, man. A lot of stuff to talk about today. A lot of stuff. By the way, Sean, I would imagine that Stuart Smith from Knox Pro Wrestling, that wasn't fake, huh? With Raja Jackson, Quentin Jackson's son. That was some crazy ass shit. I first saw the attack, and he kind of blindsided him. But then I saw the whole video where the wrestler big boys him before. And Raja was pissed at that moment. He wanted to fight him right there, and so he was seeking his revenge, and he went out and committed a crime to seek his revenge, basically, because that is an assault, that's battery, that's and I don't know if that man is still alive or whatever, but wow, I don't know. Did you see? I'm sure you've seen this video. Like, what the hell, dude? Like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? Like, what the hell, bro?
I'm still trying to piece everything together. But this is what happens when you bring in somebody that's not a pro wrestler and expect him to do pro wrestling stuff. Like, this is why a lot of the stuff before you see, Tito Ortiz or Rampage Jackson on a TNA or whatever. They've done a lot of stuff already behind the scenes so that you don't get this, because they're told usually when they bring in celebrities or anybody like that, lay it in, make it look good. Well, Ross Jackson made it look good. And I don't know, his dad saying that it was a thing. I saw one story where apparently they had already gone through this one time, and apparently it didn't go as planned. So again, there's still stuff coming through, but this is what happens, man. This is what happens,
bro. There's no apparent. There's no way they practiced exactly that, because that was vicious.
Yeah, because when you get in front of people,
that was not staged, choreographed.
Again, the problem is this: guys and gals have trained years to be able to show fake rage and fake, this and that. Raj Jackson hasn't. His only thing is,
rage.
I have to protect my MMA. I have to show them that I'm a badass. That's the problem when you bring in a lot of these guys from, the MMA world and everything else, because again, wrestling is pro wrestling is pro wrestling. Everybody understands that. But in the MMA world, now you're coming into a pro wrestling world, and an MMA guy is going to get beat by a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And again, not saying what he did was, but this is where because you want to get that oh shit moment, this is what you get in return.
Right.
Because you're trying to push the envelope to be like, oh, fans aren't going to know what to expect when they come to a Knox Pro show. This is what you could get. And then this is what you get.
Right. Yeah. I didn't ask you for the video because who knows? We'll probably get tagged for this.
Yeah, no, yeah. I can't believe that they haven't already. But again, this is where I go where if this was really so like the things, those videos would already be pulled. But the publicity, everything says Knox Pro, right? Everything's talking about the company. Everything's talking about this and that, and that's we weren't talking about that company a couple days ago.
Didn't even know existed. You probably knew because you're a sick wrestling fan. You know every damn league in the world. I would mention to you, hey, this league in Slovenia. Oh yeah, and you start rattling off all the stars there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, because I know Knox Pro used to be the one that Rikishi and Gangrel started in California, but I don't know who's running it right now. So I don't know who's in charge over there. That's the other thing I'm trying to. There's like the problem with pro wrestling is you don't know who's telling you what, because it's part of the real, or if they're just trying to, as normal in every aspect, trying to include and move along a storyline that they're trying to get to. So you kind of got to weed between everything to try to figure out what's right and what's like not what's right, but what's real and what isn't as far as what's going on. Him getting his ass kicked, straight real. That's not here nor there. I mean,
that was real.
That's the thing. The problem is you bring in somebody trying to get to those shit moment, and you got no shit moment.
Oh yeah, that was real. Every bit of that was real. Scary, real, dangerous, criminal, disgusting. Just it's as real as it could possibly get. Folks, don't forget, as you hop onto the show, please smash the hell out of the like button. It's very important, very, very important when you're listening on audio. Please smash the like button. You're watching, smash it. Even if it's not live, even if it's recorded, it helps the algorithms go. It's another way of helping us grow, as always, and get the message out. And, of course, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum or Chainlink or Solana donation. And it's always a beautiful thing. Bitcoin, by the way, is in a beautiful dip right now. It's actually coming a little bit back up now at 111,815. And you know what? Let's do a little crypto segment to get that out of the way, and we move forward with sports. As Bitcoin comes in at 111,799 right now. Ethereum, by the way, surpassed its all-time high. It hit $4,900. Right now it is, let's give you the latest. It's actually dropped, but not too much. 4,667. And I'll tell you why. Okay. And I'll tell you why here in our R&M Contractors crypto segment. Why? And Sean, can you do me a favor? Pull up a tweet I posted yesterday. And all of a sudden, the market got shocked. All right. Bitcoin was, holding like around 115 area. Ethereum hits like 49.50, I think it is, something like that, 49.40 or something like that, all-time high for it. And then all of a sudden, we get a shock on Bitcoin, and then it affects the altcoins and all that. So a whale yesterday sold 24,000 Bitcoin and sold 12 more thousand this morning. Turned around the money that they sold yesterday and went and bought Ethereum with it. That's why Ethereum hasn't gone down that much. But the drop in Bitcoin made the lettuce hands, the people that are weak, panic sell, and they sold their Avalanche or their Solana or their XRP. So all the altcoins got affected because once Bitcoin drops, this guy is a whale. He has like 100 and some thousand Bitcoin. So he sold a portion of it and moved it to Ethereum. The son of a bitch is going to double his money. He's smart. He's got over 130,000 more Bitcoin. So to him selling this, he bought this years ago. So he is making bank, and he sold it. He didn't sell it on over the counter. He sold it through an exchange. So that's why it dropped like a rock. If he puts it over the counter and it goes into other hands, it doesn't affect the market. But he did that on purpose. So it would shock. Everything dropped, and he went and bought Ethereum. Then he sold more this morning, and now he bought more Ethereum. Because now Ethereum will go to close to 12 to 15,000. It's at 40, almost 5. So you're going to go to maybe 2.5x, right? So that's what he's going to do. It's going to be a faster climb to 2.5x than it will be with Bitcoin. So they're already in sick profits because they've held these things for years. So they're already in sick profits with Bitcoin. And now he'll get those profits and flip it twice. Freaking genius. So at the same time, he shocks the market tonight. Not the monkey. He shocked the market. Son of a bitch. I mean, it's so freaking genius. You know what I'm saying? But it's the beauty of having money. Schmucks like me that only got a couple bucks we put here and there. I'm just grateful that he dropped it to 112 and 111 and 113. And I bought again because it was at 124 and it's going to explode past 124. So here's my tweet that I put yesterday. I don't know if I can read it from here. Let me see. Yeah, it says whale games. I didn't know about this information at that moment, okay? Because this is at 4:07 p.m. yesterday when it happened. Whale games being played as Ethereum smashes another all-time high. They shock the markets, knowing lettuce hands will panic sell, allowing them more time to accumulate. And that's what the whales are doing. They're accumulating. And guess who accumulated? I wonder. Guess who accumulated? Michael Saylor, baby. Michael Saylor bought 3,081 of those 36,000 Bitcoin that guy sold. Here, he bought 3,000 of those back, 3,081 at 115,829 per coin. They now own in strategy 632,457 Bitcoin, 46.5 billion at 73,527 per coin is their average. So it's just a matter of patience play the game, stay strong. Don't worry about it, dude. Whales will play their game and shock, but what you don't do is panic. The people that are here just to kind of, you could take off the tweet already, Sean. The people that are here for a short time, they don't understand this. Anybody that understands the market, you stay in for a time, and then that's when you'll see your real growth. Some people are just looking for quick hits, and they'll get some, but they won't really maximize it because they don't have any patience. So while you see that happening, it's because there's an agenda going on, and there's so much ETH being consumed right now by corporations and institutions and all that, besides retail, you and me. That's why the market wasn't shocked that much, because the lettuce hand sold. It allowed the whale to sell the Bitcoin and then shock the market, shock it, lower it, and then he went and bought Ethereum. And watch Ethereum take off now, and it's going to go over 5,000 right away. So his investment is going to start paying off for itself immediately. It already paid off after all the years with Bitcoin. Now he's going to flip it even faster. This guy is next level smart. And by the way, this is all done on the blockchain. It is an open ledger. You cannot hide it. That's why people like Elizabeth Warren, sorry, I don't like Democrats or Republicans, so it doesn't matter. I may take a shot at a Republican. I may take a shot at a Democrat. Relax your ass. I don't care. I'm a Bitcoiner. Once you become a Bitcoiner, you won't care about these stupid parties. But this is why people like Elizabeth Warren misinform the public and say, there's a lot of cheats and robbers and drug dealers and this and that on Bitcoin. No, actually, it's not. That's like walking around with a camera on you. I'm not sure. I've never heard of it. You think, Sean, there's any chance thieves want to be walking around committing crimes with cameras on them? Okay, because it's an open source. They know exactly what you're doing. You can't hide it. So how are you going to be manipulating stuff with money? We just saw, I'm just telling you, a guy sold 36,000 Bitcoin. He can't hide it. And then he turned the money into Ethereum. He cannot hide it. That's the beauty of the ledger. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of these wallets. They can be tracked. So you can't be doing funny business. They'll catch you. That's why people sometimes, when they hack and they steal, they also lock it and they can't even use it. And then you end up, getting it. But nobody talks about how FTX had all that stuff and they found and they brought it all back. Nobody ever talks about that. It's Mount Gox. Everybody's getting it back. You could track it. You could trace all this stuff. You can actually, you don't want to be screwing around, because you could actually pay the price when it comes to the blockchain. That's the insane part that people just don't understand. Anyway, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation as always. What else do I have here? The government, by the way, bought back yesterday $2 billion more of their debt. This is not, the feds came out on Friday, and Powell has announced that, they're going to go and start quantitative easing, and they're going to probably at least a quarter rate cut in September, right? Well, this isn't the feds cutting yet and printing money and all that. No. This is the government buying back $2 billion of its debt. This is now a total of $6 billion in the last week that the U.S. government has bought back of its debt. That's basically, they turned on the printer and turned on $6 billion. Wouldn't it be nice that you have your bills, like the bill gets here for whatever, the mortgage payment, whatever, and I just turn on a printer and and let me go pay it. Wouldn't it be nice? Because this isn't like the government, like what you do and I do. Okay, I've got a $500 credit card bill, and this month, dude, I got $100, and I'm going to pay $100 of principal off that thing and cut it down to $400. which is really not true because, there'll be a little interest on it. But I'm just being basic. Let's just say you want to cut off 100 of it. And you do it and you leave it for. That's not what the government's doing. They don't have the money to pay for the $6 billion that they bought back of debt. They got to print that bitch. So they flood the streets more with $6 billion more. It's almost like circumventing the feds is what they're doing almost. And this is what I keep telling you about. There's only 21 million of it. Only 21 million. It's finite. And how many times have I told you, aim for 20-25%? And you can still aim for that. And it'll be worth a fortune down the line as long as you hold it for time. By 2030, it's worth a fortune. All right? So the government keeps printing. Over 100 years ago, okay, the dollar has lost 95% of its purchasing power. Since 2000, the dollar has lost 40% of its purchasing power. So every day you buy less. Meanwhile, every day Bitcoin grows more and more and more. And there's only 21 million, and there are 8 billion people in this world. Not that I'm a financial advisor, not that this is financial advice whatsoever. But you saw Jerome Powell. By the way, Sean, you're witness. I've been telling you for several years now, the feds have been saying, oh, we want to get inflation down to 2%. I don't know how many times I've said on this show that'll never happen, that 3% or more is going to be the inflation rate. And now they've adjusted to it. And that's basically what he was saying on Friday, because they're in a dilemma where inflation is on the uprise and jobs are declining. So it's kind of like a stagflation, which is what we told you we're headed for, and then hyperinflation is the next stage. We'll go through stagflation, and then we'll go through hyperinflation, and I'm just telling you, okay? And that's that 2% target was always we've been 53 months over that target. 53 months. How are you going to come back from that? So, by the way, R&M Contractors and Custom Drywall, baby, getting it done. Ray and Mike, they do it all for you, man. Stucco repairs, maintenance, floor restoration, bathroom upgrades, kitchen upgrades with appliances, complete remodel. They do it all. And by the way, very important, if you own a condo or if you have a second, third floor home, they do waterproofing for your terrace, your balcony, and a flood test report, because you don't want, a busted pipe. You don't want it going down the next floor and the next floor, and that creates a problem. If you have a multi-story home, you want to be able to trap that flood and be able to drain it. I mean, very important, not just for, God forbid, any kind of rain damage, but again, any pipe damage or anything like that. Please call R&M Contractors. They can do it all for you. Ray and Mike, 305-345-3649, and make sure you tell them that Big O sent you, and we thank them for always sponsoring all of our crypto segments. All right. Bitcoin now at 112,000. Love it. I love it. Ho Yoon, thank you, sir, for your amazing generosity as always. And he puts simply, have a great day. Thank you, sir, as always. Ray, you are a beast. Thank you, sir. He says a happy Bitcoin Monday. Amen to that, my man. Amen to that. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. The great Brian Radke. Thank you, sir. A little love on Cash App. Very nice of you. Thank you. Very nice. Thank you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And he just puts good morning as his message. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that immensely. Can't say enough about what's going on. And we're going to have vicious rips. Vicious rips are coming, especially with Bitcoin. This is becoming like a slingshot. You got all these countries that are talking about Bitcoin reserves and all of that. Get the Bitcoin. Get the Bitcoin, baby. Okay? If you stay with fiat currency, you end up the Joker. There's only one answer. That's all I can tell you. Only one answer. All right. Hit that like button, please. Smash that like button. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Got 136 watching, only 61 likes. Come on. And I appreciate the 61. But a lot of you're watching and you just don't like us. It's weird. Dolphin Dave is here. Yeah, the O-line looked like shit. Yes. Yes, it did. It was frustrating. Yeah, I was going back and forth with somebody on text, and he goes, "Well, why are you picking on play calling?" And I'm like, "Well, it's the preseason, and I know play calling is not a big thing, but if I'm starting a game, and I know that all I got are backups on the other side, and I'm starting my offensive line with a shitty right tackle, which Larry Borum is a shitty right tackle, then I am going to run the ball." And this guy just opens up a pass, and Tua gets sacked twice. Your season could have ended right there. And I would have worked on, I'm sorry, I get that the whole Malik thing, and I love Malik, and he's locked in as the number 3. I liked him from last year. I wasn't worried about Malik. You know what I'm saying? You saw the Ollie Gordon stuff? That's what I wanted to see from the get-go. I want you to learn to punch people in the mouth, dude. You know, that's what you should have started the game with, a whole bunch of runs. Show me some physicality. You're playing the scrubs anyways. And then, you know what you did? You made me end up feeling like shit because now you gave up 6 sacks against scrubs. 2 of them with your best, except for your right tackle. And, you know, just, it's ridiculous. It just is. Are there good things? Yeah, dude, I love Ollie Gordon, but we've already and I got to see him have to move over to pick up that block. I thought that was very big. Is he going to be perfect? No, but at least I know he's got a little bit of some in his head there, and he can do that. So I like that about Ollie Gordon, you know. But yeah, I'm not happy about this, but I mean, it's not like I haven't been warning you about what's coming this season. You know what I'm saying? Miles Deep is in Vegas. The Jaybird is in. Saw Jaybird at the Fort Lauderdale United game. Yes, sir. Says, love the Saturday show before the game. Looking forward to you interviewing. Yes, we will definitely have some of the players on. And we're going to be out at Fort Lauderdale United once a month. So we have not planned yet. Now, we will have a Fort Lauderdale United player on every week, or it could be a coach. So later on this week, you can expect to have a Fort Lauderdale player. We will have that on every week. And when we're there, we'll try to have more interviews with it's just tough on game day. It doesn't matter what sport. I've done this for 35 years. It's kind of tough on game day. I know that, to manage that. But we do have a featured player every week here on the show. So that's going to be cool. Let's see. Jeff in Long Island. One-Eyed Jack is in. Yeah, I know. We didn't get any warm and fuzzies from that overall. It kind of scares us. Finn Rule. There is one thing that most of us have in common. We were all stupid enough to be Dolphins fans after the Dolphins won the Super Bowl. LOL. I mean, you know, what else am I going to be? I know nothing else, bro. You know, I'm never leaving my Dolphins. I'll bitch and complain and tell you what the hell's wrong or whatever. But yeah, I'll be back for more of a dude. I bet on these idiots in week 1. I bet on Mike McDaniel in week 1 against the Colts already. I bet on the money line, and I took the points. I did it twice because I got it +1. And then when they named Daniel Jones, the line went up to 1.5. And then I took that. Shows you the insane just nature of myself. You know what I mean? It's just crazy, dude. You better not lose that game. That's for damn sure. All right. Let's talk a little Dolphins with the one and only David Furones and our Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report.
All rise, football fans, as the Welton Rayon Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welton Rayon has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All righty. Good morning, young man. How was your weekend?
Good morning. Yeah, splendid. Finally got to wrap up this preseason and then now get to what really matters in the regular season and some roster cuts. So good to get a little dress rehearsal, too, for the Dolphins.
The teacher was cut already today.
Hmm?
The teacher was cut today, Shamklin.
The teacher. Yeah. Oh, well, that's good news for the students.
Well, you know, the NFL taketh and it giveth away, you know. So they took Teddy Bridgewater, we'll give you back Shamklin. So it's just kind of things, you know. It was a trade-off. It was, you know, it was like a swap of seventh rounders, you know, something like that. That's kind of what ended up happening. So the NFL this year said, school system, we need somebody from you. And then, you know, and that the trade-off was we'll give you a tryout to one of your other teachers. And then, you know, and that's kind of what ended up happening behind the scenes. You know, that's what it's all about right there. You know, that's balance in the world, bro. Remember, that's what it's all about. Balance in the world. You take one teacher, you give one back. And, you know, now the system is replenished, which is good. If you would have taken two teachers, that would not have been good. You know what I'm saying? That would have been kind of cruel. So, you know, it's a bad thing. No, but do we know of any other?
The net gain is with the school system. The net gain is with the school system. Or no, actually, sorry. No, the net loss for the school system. They lost Teddy Bridgewater. He goes back to the NFL. That's what I meant. Yeah, I got it reversed. Yeah,
right.
Unfortunately,
right.
Education.
They got back one of two, so they're fortunate to get back one of two. You know what I'm saying? So it's the least they can do. All right, on a serious note, because some people will take all that gibberish serious. Do we know of any other cuts so far?
I think as I was joining, I was seeing possibly Mike Boone as well, who was also a long shot. So seems like they're going to the running backs very early on. So both of them, obviously, they were short term, get you through the preseason, just fixes for just the reps that you need to get through these exhibition games. Mike Boone did have a touchdown in that last preseason game, but always was going to be a long shot. And I feel like the only way one of them would have been on the active roster was if there was significant Jalen Wright injury news, when his deal seems to be week to week. So possibly it seems that the Dolphins could just take him into the regular season on the active roster. Maybe you don't have him for week 1, maybe you don't have him for week 2, but you don't need to have him out for 4 weeks by having him on one of the IR spots or anything like that, hopefully.
I'm thinking two things. You're releasing all the backup running backs because, one, you're going to have Achane and Wright ready to go along with Ali, and you'll be fine for the start of the season. You know what the injuries are. They'll be good. Or two, we still don't know if we're going to have the guys, but we do know this. The NFL is about to release 400 running backs that are way better than these two guys we have. We could pick up somebody that's going to be released, and they'll fill the spot better than Shamklin or Boone.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Dolphins were picking up from the pick of the litter from what was available after everyone had their running backs on the 90-man roster. Then now roster cuts. That's a significant piece. Like 30, every team cutting out 37 players, if my math is correct. Then some running backs are going to get caught in the fray there and become available.
Yeah. So I kind of feel like they know that there's going to be a few backs that they've got targeted already. And they're like, okay, these guys are going to be released. Let's just wait for these guys and they'll fill it. Or the injuries aren't that serious and they'll get those. Although they still need to go get another guy. that they could probably add to their practice squad or something, or to the active roster for a week or two until they put him back to the practice squad or some shit like that. So I still think they'll be active for a running back just because they have to go on the precautionary end of it.
Yeah. And maybe Mike Boone could be that option for and you know what? Just coming in, Mike Hilton has been released, according to Adam Schefter. Put it out there. So nickel corner, who was a veteran, no longer will be around. And it was always a peculiar situation with how he was being played in training camp.
They could bring him back week to week because he's an old guy. That's what they probably could do. Instead of giving him a guaranteed deal for the rest of the year, you release him and then you bring him back if he clears waivers, and then he's kind of week to week. And whenever you release him, he's done. So I think that's what they're going to do with a guy like Hilton, because he's 31, isn't he? Isn't he old?
Yeah. 30 or 31. Yeah, one of those. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's not like he's anything special. So they're a dime a dozen, and they're going to release a whole bunch of other ones. And he was already on the street after everybody had their 90. So I think they feel good that he'll clear waivers, and then they can sign him week to week and just have him on the roster, and then they can release him. I think that's how it goes. And then they can release him at any time, week 5, 7, and they're not committed to paying the rest of his salary. I believe that's how it goes.
Yeah. Sorry, I was putting out a tweet too, so I was like half paying attention because I had a live tweet that Mike Hilton has been cut. But I think that sounded right. Sorry, my attention was lost a little bit as there's breaking.
I know that if he reaches like week 10 or 12 or something, like he's locked in for the year or some shit. I don't know. I forgot how it goes. I don't have all the loopholes and everything like that. But I know that they have some time to, decide, okay, we like him or we don't, and they could just keep him from week to week pretty much. Well, he's signed for the year, but they're not really tied for a guaranteed contract for the week. So for the year, I wonder if that's what they're going to try to do with Mike Hilton.
Yeah, possibly. And I mean, it depends on now he's available for anyone else to pick up, but it's not like he had any film this preseason that would really be indicative of, okay, that's a must pick up for someone. And it was interesting when Anthony Weaver, I asked him about Hilton not playing in the second preseason game in Detroit. Like if that was a matter of just because all the other cornerbacks did. The cornerbacks were still competing. And he kind of said, well, we know what we got in Mike Hilton, almost like if he's like, is he essential personnel already with this team a month into signing? But we're not seeing it in training camp as far as him working with the first team elevated units. And now they trust Jason Marshall Jr., the rookie, who is playing the nickel slot for the first time in his career and has impressed at that position and can play it with some physicality too as a bigger corner. So interesting to say the least.
I tell you this all the time. With age and experience comes perspective, and a lot of the shit that happens in this world repeats over and over and over again. We've talked about this before, right? The Don Shula line, that was the end of your career. Okay, I'm talking Don Shula now. This is before you were born. All right.
All right. Not all of Don Shula's before I was born.
Yeah. While he's talking, you have no idea what he's saying. Let's just put it that way. You weren't old enough to understand what he was saying.
Oh, okay. Yes, for sure. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. So you weren't living it. You weren't living the day to day.
Oh, no, not at all. Right.
All right. And if there's any old fan out there watching right now, you will know this. When Don Shula said about a player, well, we already know what he is. We know what he can do. Dude, you were getting cut.
Wow.
We already knew it because Shula had been with us for so many years. Okay. I've been reading it in the papers, and then I covered it for the last, 91 through 95, for the last 5 years of his career. And whenever Shula spoke about it, oh, well, how come he's not playing? Well, we kind of know what he can do, and we got to evaluate these other guys, and we were like, oh, dude's toast. It's over. And it's just funny how nothing changes. And, decades later, here is Anthony Weaver standing up on the podium and using the exact Don Shula kill line right there. You never wanted to hear him say, "Oh yeah, no, we know exactly what he's all about, and we gotta." And then they would like throw it over like, "No, but it's because we gotta really evaluate these other guys. We don't know enough about these guys." And that's really like, yeah, dude, we know that guy. And so there you go. Just so you'll know, there's a good chance when a coach says that, that's really, I don't want to hear that if I'm a player.
Yeah, that was the kiss of death, I guess. It was just, you didn't know which way it was going. Like, is it that they just have that confidence in what Mike Hilton will be, and you don't need to see him in the preseason game because you just figure he could be the guy that he was for Cincinnati, even though he hasn't shown it in training camp? Or is it just what they've seen in training camp they don't like and they need to see all the other guys? And now it definitely now without question has come.
When they don't want it, when they don't need to be seen, they'll tell you straight up, vet rest.
Mm-hmm.
They'll tell you straight up, "Oh no, we're giving him a day off. Hey, he's an older player. He's on that program." You'll know that already. That shit don't happen to Mike Hilton, bro. There's no freaking vet program and shit, So I'm telling you, dude, it's just funny that I was laughing when you were telling that story because I saw the press conference and I saw that you asked Weaver and I saw his response. And I thought of Don Shula and I completely forgot about it until you brought it up right now. And I go, "Oh man, I forgot about that. I remembered that." And then there you go. It was like,
wow. Dude. I mean, we've channeling some Don Shula. I mean, he probably, I mean, as we all know, but he really has probably that head coach. What would it be? I mean, like DNA or something in him. Like if he channels some Don Shula there, then we're probably right about Anthony Weaver and feeling he has those head coaching abilities in his future.
Sean, do you have any other cuts coming in? Because it looks like you're tirelessly working there. I see you behind.
Yeah, no. Offensive tackle Jalen McKenzie, he's been released.
Okay. I haven't seen that one, but I've been on the show. So yeah.
Your thoughts on? Look, dude, I know it's the preseason, so I'm not here to go crazy on play calling and all this kind of shit, but you open up with passes with a shitty right tackle, and I'm not worried about your passing game because you have Tua, dude. It was great to watch Malik play, but I wasn't worried about Malik either. I kind of knew he was the 3 already. I wasn't worried about him last year. Even when he had a couple of drops, I was like, bro, his career is not that. His career is he catches everything. He's a terrific possession guy. He'll be fine. I'm not worried about him. He's tough as nails. He'll be good. I wanted to see what I saw after, a little bit more down the line, that I saw Ollie Gordon. That's what I want to see from the get-go. You put Tua at risk right away with a shitty right tackle, and sure enough, he got sacked twice, which your season could have ended right there and then. You saw how Jackson Dart got hit and slammed down, and luckily for the Giants that he's going to be, he's going to be kosher and we're good. But I'm just saying, I would have liked to have worked on the physicality part of the offensive line, not so much let me see on who are the backup receivers overall, when that's really not that important. It's all right, but just like your season is over with Tua, your season's over with Tyreek and Waddle are out too. Okay, so, but go ahead.
Yeah. Season would be over. If we're looking at who's the essential personnel where your season would be over, we're talking Tua, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Is there one defender? Maybe Minka, because your secondary would really be in a bad spot.
God, yes.
Your secondary would really be in a bad spot if you don't have Minka.
How How do you not start with the power game? How do you not start with running the ball? Because that's really the part of your identity you need to solve. Your passing game automatically gets better if you actually run the goddamn ball. And the reason why your passing game gets stuffed and people figure you out and they drop the safety and the linebacker is because you can't run the ball. And that's what I would have liked to see you open up the damn show with. Run, bro. But commit yourself to punishing people. And now that you got a kid like Ollie, maybe you can do stuff like this and you can have a thunder and lightning combination. That's my point on the play calling part at the beginning of the game, putting your quarterback at risk, and you're not even working on your real weakness.
Yeah, especially when Ollie Gordon is thrust into starting duty because you've got, first Alexander Madison out for the season. Jalen Wright is hurt, a week-to-week deal. And now Devon Achane, you're protecting him against that little calf tweak, whatever it was that you just want to be cautious with before the regular season. Well, now Ollie Gordon thrust into starting duties. He's a power runner. Then go and establish that early, which the Dolphins seemed to, when they did give him the ball, even early on when they struggled those first couple drives, he was still pounding out some yardage. It seemed like he was effective when he was in there. But, the pass game took longer. I know on the Jaguar side that first-year defensive coordinator Anthony Campanile, even with some backups in there, he threw some stuff out there that the Dolphins weren't ready for. And he knows the Dolphins, of course, from being under Mike McDaniel as the linebackers coach here for a couple of years, where they had he was a flow guy, but he was held over for some Mike McDaniel years. Good early impression of him running a defense to throw some stuff at Mike that the Dolphins weren't ready for. You don't want to expose Tua to that. Maybe for him, good to at least feel a couple of hits and come out okay. All right, I took a hit, I'm fine. But it would have been disastrous if he takes a hit and something bad happens. So that's definitely not what you want to see.
Can I say something? That's a load of shit that everybody talks about. That's a load of shit from Tua. Oh, I could get that
he's
out.
the one going through it, though. He's the one on there on the field that's got to
We don't need it. We don't need you to go through it. He doesn't need to go through it, bro. That's a bunch of crap, dude. He doesn't need to go through any of that. He just needs to play the game and play the game untouched. That's exactly the way he's supposed to play the game the way Floyd Mayweather boxed. Everybody used to say Floyd Mayweather is boring. No, asshole. He's a boxer. They're supposed to do that. They're supposed to hit and not hit, dumbass. Oh, but that's boring. That's why he's so effing good, moron.
Yeah.
He can hit you and you can't hit him. That's the idea. That's when you're really elite. Now, if you stand there in the middle of the ring, that's what we all love the Neanderthal one. Yeah, rock'em sock'em robots. Hey, yeah, everybody loves that shit. Everybody loves Tyson and the game. Yeah, of course you want to go against Glass Joe. Yeah, I understand all of that, but that's not real boxing. Real boxing is what Floyd Mayweather did. And real quarterbacking is what Dan Marino did, is what Tom Brady did, is what Peyton Manning did. These guys avoided hits, and they were experts at it. He doesn't understand that he has to be an expert at being Floyd Mayweather. Okay? He wants to be Roberto Duran. And guess what? He doesn't have manos de piedra. So if you don't have manos de piedra, you don't want to seek contact. But this moron somehow thinks, no, I needed that. No, asshole. Any of those two hits could have ended your season. Play the game the Mayweather way.
Yeah, protect yourself at all costs. Once he took those hits, then he landed the right way. They weren't big physical. He got wrapped up. It wasn't like he got slammed down, anything too bad.
Control over a 300-pound man grabbing you.
But, right. It's not always going to be that way. Yes. Yeah.
Especially when you're an Oompa Loompa. Yeah, no, you could control that that momentum, that weight, that torque turning the corner. Sure, no problem. Go ahead. I think Tua is also bad at mathematics.
Bad at mathematics? Why is that?
Oh, obviously, he doesn't understand the weight of one object and the weight of another object.
Physics. Yeah, maybe some physics is lacking.
Yes. He obviously failed in that department. Okay? There's no doubt about it that he failed in that department. That's for damn sure. All right, so offensive line, your concerns, Austin Jackson. Who are the backups? What backups? Any backups? Although my boy Keon is doing a little better, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, Keon's going to be one of those fringe roster spot players that's up there for it. And with the injuries on the offensive line, might be needed on this initial 53. Similar situation for Daniel Brunskill, I think. I think as we were on, Jackson Carman may have already been alerted he was cut.
You're getting a thumbs up from the expert producer that is Sean Stanley.
I haven't been able to stay up on all the news, but I did. I think I did see that.
That's why we have Sean Stanley. See, 3 heads are better than 2. That's
excellent work. Yes. Yeah, according to Barry Jackson, already cut. So he was one of those competing for those spots. I thought, and clearly not going to get one. So better odds now for Keon Smith as Andrew Meyer continues to be injured with what's either an arm or an elbow. He's been seen with a brace on his left arm. So yeah, Austin Jackson obviously right now he's expected to be fine for the opener, but that's at right tackle where Larry Borum will be the guy when Austin Jackson isn't there. But maybe you don't want it to get to Larry Borum very much during the season, but he would be that backup swing tackle with Keon Smith providing some versatility where he could play tackle, could play guard. They've had him at different spots, and and Liam Eichenberg, of course, still on PUP and probably still got a ways to go. So he might start the season on PUP, be out the first 4 weeks.
It's an ugly situation. By the way, don't forget Welton Rayon, proud sponsors of this program, and we appreciate them as always. And if you're looking for lawyers, you can count on. They're actually the bookend tackles that the Miami Dolphins wish they had. Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayon, they will come through for you. They've come through for a bunch of our listeners. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. They've been with us since day one. They're going on 6 years. This is our 6th year on the platform and 6 years strong. They've been supporting us, listeners on the West Coast and Central Florida, up on the the Gold Coast, and here in South Florida have called them. Everybody, people that listen all over, save that number because you might get some wind damage, some water damage, some pipe broke from a neighbor next door. 954-966-4646. All right. There was something really important that happened on Saturday, like extremely important, David. I don't know how you guys didn't celebrate this, and I'm not sure how fans and the media didn't really catch up on this. Darren Waller still knows how to put on a uniform.
That's what we saw him do. We saw him go through stretch. We saw him stretch and warm up and run the pregame routine of not really routes, but just light running routes on air that quarterback throws to him. So he went through the pregame routine. So he would be ready on that front.
My
favorite
line was that McDaniel said in the press conference there was no setbacks. I mean,
he wasn't talking about just that he made it through the pregame workout. He's saying that he has not experienced any setback.
Yeah, no setbacks in his preparation for nothing on Saturday night. He put on the pads, he put on the uniform, tied the shoelaces. He went out there and there was no setbacks. So, I mean, you got to feel positive about what's going on with Darren Waller, right? I mean, there is no doubt he catches at least 1,200 yards, right? Maybe 108 balls, easily 14, 15 touchdowns. What's your projection?
Season predictions for Darren Waller?
Yeah, I mean, dude, he knows how to put on a uniform.
Boy,
he's committed. I mean, he's gone through mental reps. He's so set, dude. Mental reps. He knows how to wear his uniform. He can find the stadium. Important. It's important. Okay. He can find the practice field. I don't know what more proof we need. Go ahead, smart guy. Let's go.
To predict what Darren Waller will do this season, I have nothing to base it off because I haven't seen him practice. I literally have not seen him go through any practice reps. So,
but mental reps.
He's got the mental reps. I mean,
reps are important. I mean, it's just mental reps. So now he hasn't been ready to do any of this, and now we're going to get him ready for the regular season. I like this.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm on board with you. I've always just found it just tough to believe he's going to get ready now in 2 weeks of practices when he was only activated off PUP, allowed to really even be on the team for the stretch portion of practice this week after 4 weeks of only doing work on the side of everything, getting in football shape on the side. Yeah, I would have liked to see him on a more accelerated practice ramp up toward the season. But with how slowly the activation off PUP came, to now believe that he'll be football ready without any similar to game reps, anything like a game, real football being practiced with a week and a half left. I find it really difficult to believe where maybe he could give you a few snaps week one, depending on how that goes, but there won't be an audience for it. We won't be able to really see how effective he is in any team portions or anything like that.
Well, we got now the Jason Sanders injury, which I think we'll probably see a move for a kicker at one point or another here, because that doesn't seem like something that's going to be fixed right away. That one's kind of scary. Achan's been banged up. Jalen Wright is banged up. Austin Jackson is coming back from an injury. Darren Waller hasn't even played football, hasn't practiced, hasn't done anything. You think about a team that is about to start the season, there's a shit ton of question marks that nobody knows anything about. And, oh, my God, they got to all come into play. I mean, all these pieces need to fall into place, or even game one, it becomes kind of like a real issue for you. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of, we're putting off they'll be ready. And that's kind of scary. All these people that you're hoping to be ready.
Yeah. Similar to a lot of preseasons, last preseason, this is what was said with a lot of guys in the secondary, especially. It was Jordan Poyer. I believe I remember Javon Holland was going through one thing. Jalen Ramsey, the contract situation, plus his injury that was keeping him off. You just had Kendall Fuller, and none of them ever really practiced all together. And then they were expected to go out there week one and work in unison. So that's the kind of effect that it has when you don't get this training camp ramp up. And players are missing time working with each other as new teammates onto a roster that don't have experience playing with one another. Training camp in the preseason, a little bit of preseason reps for veterans, is the time to work out some of those kinks and get to working together.
Yep, I'm with you there. All right, what do you got going on in the Herald, my brother?
Oh, well, I got nothing in the Herald, but in the Sunset.
I'm sorry.
But in the Sun Sentinel, we do have our football preview section out, so all of that content it was available first to subscribers in print, and then I've I got to check an email, but I think now, it will be on newsstands as well in one of the upcoming issues, as well as a rollout of these season preview stories online. Plus, it's all about roster cuts early in this week, and we should hear from Chris Greer after all those cuts. So there will be some content, some news to get out of the Dolphins general manager ahead of the season.
And by the way, they just added Jackson Carman to the list of players.
Oh, yeah, we mentioned him. We mentioned him. Mm-hmm.
Jackson Carman, Shamplin, Hilton, Mike Boone. What was the other lineman that they released, Sean, that you just said a little bit ago?
Jalen McKenzie.
Yes, Jalen McKenzie. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, because it's going to be an ugly cut down, and then they're going to go fishing for some pieces at the end. What are you looking at? Like the last 3 or 4 spots on the roster will be moved around?
You're thinking, sorry, say what? Say again?
Like the last 3 or 4 roster spots could be kind of very liquid.
Fluid, for sure. Yeah. I mean, do you go, because I think you got your 6 receivers. How many defensive linemen do you go with? Like, is it going to be 6 pass rushers? The cornerbacks and safeties could be fluid. So there's a lot of mixing and matching you can do. It seems like they are set with 3 running backs as we expected. But yeah, the tight ends, like, does Tanner Connor make it? And then does that, if not, does that open up another spot? If you're trusting Darren Waller as a pass catching tight end, I believe it'll just be 8 offensive linemen to start. You're not going to go all the way to 9 with this group. So yeah, there's definitely so much mixing and matching that could happen depending on who gets those last spots, and then who becomes available from other teams, as you maybe have some deficiencies at one position over another, and then it'll be fluid through the week, and then through the season. It's going to be a constant liquid roster, of course.
Yeah. All right. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. Should be a lot of movement in the defensive back and offensive linemen for the Miami Dolphins. That's probably what we're going to see all throughout the season. So follow him on Twitter at David Furones _. Catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you immensely.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You got it. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Reach out to the guys. The consultation's completely free. So if you don't know, even if you have a case, explain it. You might. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Right. Man, crazy stuff. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar before I get to your questions and comments. Alan Blanco, if your company, corporation, institution, whatever it is, you need custom printing, embroidery, uniforms, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're having a get-together, a festival, a party, a field trip, and you want all the same T-shirts or anything like that, 3A Graphics can do that for you. You can send them the logo, email. They can ship it out to you right away. Get all of that done by Zoom and email and quickly, so you don't have to waste time. 786-618-1443. Call Alan Blanco there at 3A Graphics. Let's get to our sports calendar. The Dolphins defeat the Jags 14-6. The Dolphins have also released players. Sean, do you have the list of players that have been released by the Miami Dolphins as they work their way to the 53-man roster? Who has been released by the Miami Dolphins, sir?
I do not have the whole list, but I'm going off my memory. Boone has been eliminated. Shamplin has been released. Carmen Jackson has been released. McKenzie, the offensive lineman, has been released. Mike Hilton, the cornerback, has been released.
All right.
So that's only 5, though, but I believe there's been 6, but I don't know who the –
there's one more.
One come across, but hold on a minute. Let me double check.
there's one more. Again, these are fringe players, so it's not like a big thing. But anyway, Inter Miami, they played to a 1-1 draw with DC United over the weekend. Rodriguez with un golazo in the 64th. At least they got the tie, which is good. Better than a loss. Leagues Cup semifinal Wednesday night against Orlando City at Chase Stadium. And the final is on Sunday the 31st. So this will be a very short week for them to try to win the Leagues Cup with injuries to Messi and to Alba. Fort Lauderdale United and Lexington SC played to a 3-3 draw. Saturday, they're back at Beyond Bankcard Field, so you can support the ladies. They will host Carolina Ascent FC at 7:30. Indy 11 defeated Miami FC 3-2. Saturday, they'll take on London United FC. And on Sunday night at Hard Rock Stadium, Miami will host Notre Dame. Number 6 Notre Dame, number 10 Miami. Notre Dame is favored by 2. The over and under is 49.5. The money line is Notre Dame minus 130. Miami is plus 110. Already took Miami. I took the homer pick on that one. I think they're going to win. We shall see. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. And Sean Stanley will pass on any others. Yes?
No, they are saying 6, but there's only been 5 names released.
Okay.
So I'm not sure where the 6th one's coming from.
All right. Let's see. What do we have here on the chat board? What do we got? I see Alexis Palenzuela. I see Derek 1901. Yes, I saw that Mario Chalmers won the championship in the Big 3. Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. Good for Mario, for Rio, hitting the big shot. Rock Bear is in the house from the UK. Open-minded about the new season. I've seen it all since I started the Dolphins in 1980. Other than the Super Bowl win, it's the hope that kills you. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're all in the same boat, my brother. What can we do? Skylar is in. Lisa Rose. Pat in Asheville. Did the scruffy dude tell the black dude he was going to fake smash a can on his head first? No, apparently he kind of big boyed him in that moment. And so he kind of felt that. And then I guess that's kind of the revenge part. I don't know. Yes, sir.
I was saying Knox Pro released a statement that it was supposed to be a work that somebody turned selfish and took it upon themselves to. So
okay.
There you go.
So then this guy just wanted to be a criminal and a punk. I get it. He didn't want to play. He didn't want to play the game. And so, well, I hope they throw his ass in jail. True Fin fan, did you guys see the Mike McDaniel offense? Man, this thing is evolving before our eyes. No wasted timeouts, moving the ball in the air and the ground, killing third-string defenses with our starters. Man, I'm happy. Can you taste the sarcasm coming through your screen? Ray Varnicus. Nyborg in the house. Good morning to you, sir. I saw Eichenberg's face on the side of a milk carton this morning. Missing on the side. Yes, he's been missing since he got drafted. The Talons is in the house. He goes, Big O, a lot of people didn't know that Bitcoin whales sell. Great info for your community. You're welcome, sir. Well, we actually follow it. And the fact that the guy flipped it over to Ethereum, genius. And then when Ethereum doubles, he then buys it back into Bitcoin. Genius. It's good to see Tua get quality reps with the other wide receivers. They'll be a big part of the offense when Tyreek eventually quits or gets traded. Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be, elite. Think Blue Dodgers. Jay says, what's up? Oh, heard the Dolphins football is about to start. So how about them Panthers? Edward Thurston Howe, Juan Mendoza. Big O, I know we're not excited for the season, but the Miami Dolphins week 1 is a very smart bet. I think we win. Well, I've done a lot of stupid things with the Dolphins, my friend. So I don't know if betting on the Dolphins is smart. I don't know if, I don't think it could ever be called smart betting on the Dolphins, but I did it 3 times. I'm a complete idiot. What can I tell you? Big O is good at what he does, but God, he's so corny. I'm old, bro. What do you want me to do? Josh, Papa, Luis Benito, Sackman, bring Needham back. Whatever, bro. That's not going to save your season. It is what it is. You know, I would love to see something different, but, you know, what can I tell you? What else? Brett Dodger, Lenny Pena, hates Chris Greer, like a lot of you. Maul be crazy. Yeah, he said just like Shula in the trenches. David, where can I get that painting from the... Oh, I'm sorry. I'll ask him the next time. I'll ask him on Friday. Let's see. What else do we have? The mental reps alone will guarantee Waller gets 800 yards this season, all pro. He's going to be having a Keith Jackson type year. Let's go, baby. I like it. Horndog says, I have zero excitement about this Dolphins season. Sounds toxic, but my highlight will be McNugget getting canned. Yeah, I actually, if we can get Weaver in, I'd be it would actually lift me up, to be quite honest. Kyle Cockrell says, everyone in the chat, don't get shaken out by your favorite crypto altcoins. That's what they want. Hold strong, be patient, and you will be rewarded. He's right. What do you got, Sean?
No cuts. But I know you don't like the hypothetical, but the Seahawks look like they may be cutting so he can try to get to the practice squad, Damian Martinez.
Oh,
I know you were big on him early, so but
we lost Madison. Madison.
So I saw that name in there, so I was like, I know we're not playing hypotheticals, but an interesting name that might go out
that's
there.
Not hypothetical. That's different. That's kind of like, okay, if they release him, that's like the Nick Needham thing. That's not a hypothetical. They released him. Should they grab him? Whatever, dude. I mean, at this point, they got nothing back there. You know what I mean? I don't know if the Marshall kid can be really trusted. We'll see what happens when the regular season starts. And maybe Mike Hilton will be brought back as that backup guy or dime guy or something like that. And they'll bring him back at a cheaper rate. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not going to lose. But with Damian Martinez, that's a young player. So if they do release him, that would be one that I would like to see the Dolphins go after. Yes, sir.
Stilley, no longer with the Dolphins. Defensive lineman Ben Stilley has been released per Barry Jackson.
Okay. He's come and gone for 3 years. Yeah, pretty much. What else do we have? Greetings from Munich, Dino. Thank you for tuning in, my brother. I appreciate you immensely. Sean Stanley appreciates you immensely. Thank you. The Dolphins are going to have a lot of scrubs that they choose from. Maybe they can find one or two that help this team, says Dolphin Dave. Yeah, it would be nice. Miles Deep, Big O, did you hear about Matthew Tkachuk missing the beginning of the upcoming season? Yes, we talked about it on Saturday's show because we had a Saturday show this week. And the news came out because on Friday it broke, and so we talked about it after our show on Friday. And so we talked about it on Saturday's show, that Tkachuk is out till probably about January, something like that. So, yes, we did. Sucks. And maybe it's not so bad because then we get a fresh Tkachuk for the second half of the season and the playoffs and all of that. So it'd be nice to get a healthy Tkachuk, you know. And they can survive without him. They're so talented and so deep. They can survive a half a season without him anyways. Waller seems like OBJ 2.0. Everybody's been saying that. That's been the running line out there, I know. And definitely, I get it. And it looks like it right now. All right. Let's see. Cody says, why not smart? You said Tua and Greer were the answers. You said we're the idiots for thinking otherwise. I did. Let's see. Finn's draft looks real bad right now. 2022. Overall, there's been a ton of talent that's come through here. It's a matter of keeping the right ones, letting the right ones go, and more importantly, finding a coaching staff. Because you will never get continuity with players if you keep changing coaching staffs and schemes. We've talked about this over and over, and that's been the real failure, is that you can't find the right coach. That's been the real failure. Because it's a domino effect to everything else. If you continually, 4 different defensive coordinators under McDaniel? You'll never keep the same defensive players that you need, So it is what it is. It's been a disaster for us for a long, long time in many ways. As I talked about it last week or the week before, it's a lot of the problems are from within, and that's been the deal. Let's see what else. I always liked Tony Sperano. Yes, he was a nice man. Not a good coach, but I'm not a good assistant coach probably, but not a good head coach, but definitely a good person. It's like Dave Wanstead. I don't want Dave Wanstead head coaching my team, but Dave Wanstead's a really good dude, man. Really good dude. The Ollie Gordon news was big in this game. He ends up blocking. He ends up running hard, 8 for 43. He has proven he can catch the ball. This is one that is shaping up to possibly be a really good draft pick because it's late in the draft, and you can't have enough of these kind of guys. The question will be, will Mike McDaniel use the big running back? It's interesting, the story that Sean brought up about Damian Martinez. I'd jump all over that also. If I can bring a big back like that and just change the complexion of this team. And watching the way Ollie Gordon plays, he runs hard, he falls forward. So even on a short play that you're going to get stuffed, the dude's going to fall forward for another yard or two. I really love the way he plays. Now, it's only a little bit of, preseason and training camp that we've watched, so it's really not enough to know. But from what we've seen, he looks like he's a guy that can contribute and bring something that they haven't had here in a while. Add a little bit of a hammer to the running back position. And if you can continue in this direction, I would love this because it reminds me a lot of Tua. And it's what I just talked about before. You need to work on your power running game, not your passing game. Your passing game's fine, dude. Just give Tua time and he'll find people. Your problem is that you don't run the ball with authority. And so if you can run the ball with authority, that will open up your passing game. So one leads to the other. And that's what you want to do. Everything complements the other, but you need to work on this part here. The coach needs to dedicate himself to the run. The offensive line coaches, all that have to have the attitude like we are going to run the ball. And then you can use the authority of running the football with a guy like Ollie. And then at the same time, you can counter with Achane, who's going to get you big chunks. Because you're going to pound them with Ollie and then freak them out with Achane. That's perfect. And at the same time, while you do that, you're also improving the passing game. And that's what frustrated me about the preseason game. Dude, I don't need you to work on your stupid passing game. I need you to work on your running game. You haven't proven to be a running team for 40 years. You need to become a running team every year, every week, every month. That has to be in your DNA, and it just doesn't exist. It's baffling, dude. That's why the Ollie thing is beautiful, but let's hope he uses him. Let's hope that they turn the corner, and he's so stubborn that I'm afraid that he won't, and he actually commits to the run. And when I saw him in the preseason game, I'm like, yo, dude, what are you doing? Commit to the run and protect your quarterback. You know you have a shitty right tackle. Why are you giving these guys all kinds of freebie shots? Second stringers that want to make a name for themselves. This is not a very smart coach. It's interesting. You can be intelligent, but you're not really smart sometimes. And that's McDaniel, who's clearly intelligent, but there isn't a lot of intelligence to what he does. And by doing that, you're putting your players at risk, especially your injury-prone quarterback. And then the moron comes off the field, and I got to call to a moron on this. Oh, well, you know, I got the hit, and it was good to get out of the way. Oh, get the hell out of here with that shit. You're too injury-prone for that. This is the ignorance from the quarterback, the ignorance from the head coach is baffling, dude. Baffling. Anyway, any chance we could put McDaniel on the PUP list? God, that would be the best move of all time in Dolphin history. Would be the best move.
Release.
Yes.
Dolphins released offensive lineman Mason Brooks. He was the UFL standout signed last week to patch the injury-depleted offensive line.
I thought for sure he'd be starting.
Yeah. Thought he had a great game yesterday.
Oh, dude, dominant. What a force. Henry got a song. Greer hasn't been able to build a competent team in the trenches with depth. He pivoted in the right direction this year, but it's too late to me. Greer's the worst at his job than McDaniel is at his. Many feel that way. Many want Ross to sell, Greer to get fired, McDaniel to get fired, and cut to it. I get it. It's all there. Would you rather take Mike Tomlin if he gets fired? Only if Mike Tomlin has nothing to do with personnel. I have now learned that Mike Tomlin has a lot to do with personnel in Pittsburgh. If that's the case, I don't want anything to do with Mike Tomlin. We clear on that? Part of the reason why the Steelers are mediocre now and they're not good and they don't win any playoff games anymore, it's because they take chances on too many idiots. And apparently Mike Tomlin has a lot of influence on what idiots they draft and take into that team. So if Mike Tomlin wants to do anything with personnel, he can go F himself. I hope I'm clear on that. Okay? He can go F himself with my foot in his ass. Now, if he wants to come coach the team and shut the F up about personnel, yeah, I'll take Mike Tomlin. He can coach. But if he's going to do the Don Shula thing, I've done that already, bro. I've done it already. Don't want it anymore. Okay? If the coach is not a personnel guy, well, Belichick, he kept screwing himself over and over again. It was Brady bailing his ass out. For years, he sucked in the draft. I'm done with that, dude. Mike Tomlin can go F himself if he wants anything to do with personnel. Okay? Some guys deserve it, and I get it. He's accomplished everything as a coach, so now you got to give it to him. Well, bro, go somewhere else, and you can go give it to him somewhere else. Okay? I know this is a stupid hypothetical because it's not really going to happen anyways, but I do want to express my opinion on how much I think Mike Tomlin is complete dog shit. when it comes to personnel, because the Steelers are laughable, dude. They're a joke. They're a shell of what they used to be because of Mike Tomlin now, because he has personnel power. What he inherited from the Cowher and the personnel days, he made the best of it and was able to win a championship. Since then, he hasn't done shit. And that's because he's had more influence in personnel. So if that's what comes with the territory, leave. Get out of here. Get out of here. Because Don Shula was useless because of his personnel decisions. I mean, hindsight is 2020. Hindsight makes you and me an absolute genius. Because everybody knows that lived that era, that if from 1980 on, we put an excellent GM for Shula, how many Super Bowls do the Dolphins win? A couple more. We're going to get Marino and a really good GM. Oh, shit. Yeah, we'll actually win. We'll win some Super Bowls. But Shula, the GM, constantly killed Shula, the coach. And that's exactly who Mike Tomlin has become. So Mike Tomlin can go screw himself. I want nothing to do with Mike Tomlin anymore. Okay? He's a joke. I mean, look what he's doing now, bro. Aaron Rodgers. Like, are you serious? Have you seen the collection of clowns at wide receiver that he constantly brings in? Like, nobody brings in more head cases than this guy. Bunch of one idiot after another wide receiver. Like all you got to do is look at who is the dumbest mofo, the biggest idiot at wide receiver every year in the draft, and go, oh, he's going to be drafted by Mike Tomlin. That's how much Mike Tomlin has become a joke in personnel. So, yeah. How about that? What else do we have here? So far, Ollie Gordon is looking really good value pick considering where he was drafted. It's up to McDaniel to use him correctly. I hope the kid can help our team against first-string defenses. Yeah. I mean, look at Brandon. Do you guys want Brandon Jones back? Because he played very well for Denver last year. After a fourth-round pick and developing him, the new coordinator didn't want him. You know what I mean? This is the kind of shit you got to end. Yes, sir. What were you going to say?
The man that saved the Dolphins' undefeated preseason, cornerback Ethan Robinson, he's been released. He made that great interception in game 2.
Yeah,
and also rookie offensive lineman Addison West has been released. He's a possibility for the practice squad. And that looks like, just so, you know, again, the Saints are releasing running back Cam Akers. I'm looking at some of the other teams that are releasing, and there's of course, no big names this early going on, but so there's a
Cam Akers has played in a system that's similar. So it's actually a very good call on your part. If they want to go get a running back, that could be a guy that could fit what they do here, actually. But although I'm telling you, I would love Damian Martinez here. I want powerful backs, dude. I want to get back to when I was a kid. I'm an old man now, and when I was a kid, they used to just kick your ass, dude. Let's see. Mobile Locksmith. Thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Appreciate you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. You can make a donation. You can also make a Bitcoin donation, Ethereum, Cash, Chainlink, or Solana. And we always encourage those because that's 100%. Here on YouTube, you can make a donation, and we love it, and we appreciate it. but we only get 70% because YouTube takes 30. So that's why we always mention Cash App and Venmo constantly. I know the super chats there, and I appreciate it, but it's kind of what we mentioned. And good morning, Big O. What are the chances the Dolphins finish the season with an interim coach and tank for Manning, in your opinion? I don't know about the whole tanking for Manning or whatever, but you obviously have not been listening to the show, and I appreciate you. But for months now, I've been telling you this is a season that McDaniel does not survive and Weaver takes over. So I actually think that McDaniel will get fired within the season. My open line is over and under is week 10, and that Weaver takes over, and I get really excited about the Dolphins again, and Weaver becomes our head coach. I've already explained this over and over again, and it's pretty simple. Okay, here's what's going to happen in my eyes. Okay, listen to me and pay attention. McDaniel has been an underachiever the first few years. He has underachieved every single year, has not won the amount of games he's supposed to win, no matter the talent, nothing. Okay, that has proven. If he has another underachieving season, which with this thin roster, you're kind of set for that. How do you say, oh, no, we were fiscally adjusting the roster this year, and we'll get back to spending next year when we have cap space and this, that, and all that, and we're bringing back McDaniel? You can't. There's no way you can sell to season ticket holders and to your fan base that you're actually, after another disappointing season, McDaniel's going to come back. So I think that they kind of had to fiscally reset this. And in the process, they also found out what happened in the offseason when people defected, players left, and others had problems with the coach, but they've spun it around where, oh, no, we've gotten rid of the problem people, but everybody here is on board now. That's the BS they're selling you. Well, I think they realized they made a mistake with McDaniel. They're never going to tell you that. And this fiscal reset will probably lead to his failure and lead to you being able to, for the first time, which is not what Stephen Ross does. He doesn't fire people during the season. He'll fire him during the season and move on. This is not something he likes to do. He likes to wait till the end of the season. So I think there's no way you can sell McDaniel after a rough season into next year. But you can, if you have Weaver, you have extra picks next year, you have cap space, you give Weaver some time to work with the back end of the season with the roster, and I think you've got more of a head coach in the process. And then going into next season with cap space, with picks, and Weaver, you will actually lift the sales of Dolphin fans, and you can sell going into next year. If you have a down season, you can't sell next year McDaniel and rebuild and all that. And again, as I've said over and over again, if Greer comes back next year, then that tells me that McDaniel wasn't his pick. That's all I can say. So we'll find out. We'll find out. I've said this a bunch, but there's a bunch of you that don't really listen to the show every day. You're not really hardcore supporters of the show. You come and go. You just come in through the football season a little bit. Maybe you'll check a rant or two or something. I get it. The core that's here every day gets all the nuggets and everything else, the news and everything else that we do, because not all of it is put on a rant. And not all of it is all going on during football season. Yes, sir.
A.J. Henning has been released by the Dolphins, and also I'm sure you probably saw it already, but the Commanders and Terry McLaurin have agreed to a 3-year extension worth over $96 million. And the Eagles have been trading tackles all morning. The second tackle they traded this morning. So that's pretty much where we're going right now.
Yesterday, Dudley Durong, and I've been explaining this all off season, and I've explained it to him too. Okay, And he's like, well, the Eagles are trading tackles, this, that. What are the Dolphins doing? And I just retweeted back to him, oh, you're mentioning again, no urgency again? Oh, okay. It's just like, I keep explaining to everybody, there has been zero urgency about anything all off season. And all of a sudden, you people, no, let's go trade for that guy, and let's go trade for this guy, and we're going to trade for that guy. No, they're not doing any of that. They're not giving away picks. They're not giving away big salaries. They're not doing any of that. Yeah, to Sealer, to their own guy, but they're not going out and buying big free agents. They're not trading picks. They're not doing any of that. And people still don't get it. You really don't understand what the agenda is this year. There is no urgency. Fans have urgency because we've had urgency for 45 years to win. But right now, there is zero urgency coming from the front office about winning right now and doing whatever it takes to win. At no point have they shown that this entire year, off season. No point. And I don't know how all of you still don't understand that. And I've been explaining this for months now. For months. Too many of you have some thick skulls and you just don't get it. There is zero urgency for this season. That's why I think he is set up perfectly to fail, because he's not a great coach that can overcome this. All right, what else do we have here on the chat board? Do you think McDaniel's only opportunity to stay with Miami is if he wins one playoff game? Yes, Dino, he has to take it to the playoffs and win a playoff game. Yes. If not, you're just spinning wheels, because the talent is good enough to kind of to make it to the playoffs. When it's healthy enough, of course. First couple of years it was hard, but when it's healthy enough, it's good enough. Is he good enough to do it? Is the question. And the guy didn't even know the down the first year against Buffalo, and he had a chance to win that game. Believe it or not, he had a chance to shock them with Skylar Thompson, which is insane to think that they had a shot to win that game. Let's see what else. Greer passed on so many QBs. There's QBs aren't the need. Cody, you also don't get football, bro. The need is offensive line. The need is running back. The need is to run the ball. And that's how you protect the quarterback. But if you got a shitty line that only gives them 2 seconds, then that's not the way you survive. That's why no quarterback can run the offense except for Tua, because you got to make a decision in 2 seconds. Too many of you still don't understand football and don't understand what's going on here. The only time the quarterback's a problem is when he thinks he's a football player. That's the only time. But too many of you still don't really get what actually needs to happen here. The O-line has been crappy for 45 years, Raging. 45 years. Okay? Since 1980 till now, we have never had a great offensive line for a couple of years. Never had it. We had Stevenson. We had Webb and Sims, but we never really had, the unicorns when they were healthy. It was 3 guys, but not a great we never had a great offensive line like the 70s. And that's what you need. If you notice, all these championship teams, they have 5 men that are just monsters usually, and they handle everything that's going on throughout the year. And that's what Miami has never had for 45 years. They cannot punch anybody in the mouth. They're a soft team. So, let's see. You're telling me the Dolphins aren't trying to win a Super Bowl? Well, that's a major surprise, says Dolphin 5370. Let's see. We will probably never find out, but I want to know who was the genius to give McNumbnuts an extension. Yeah, I don't know, dude. That one made no sense whatsoever. So Teddy was the only one that could operate this offense. Yeah, but Teddy can't do it, bro. Teddy can't run. Teddy's not an NFL starter anymore. Enough with that shit already. Please. He doesn't have the ability anymore to be a real. He needs such an incredibly dominant team around him. My boy Poupart, who put out that ridiculous line, Tua needs a perfect team, which is just a ridiculous line. Actually, for Teddy Bridgewater, that would be the line. But then again, I think it was Poupart that thought that Teddy Bridgewater would take Tua's job anyway. So I don't know. I think he might have been one of those. Who knows? But no, he doesn't. Teddy would need a perfect team. Okay? With Tua, you just need to block and run the ball. He'll figure everything else out. You'll be fine. Do the same thing you had to do for this guy, and you failed. You couldn't block and run. Can't block and run. You're not going to win with this guy. And he's like a super freak. Like Tua's a hell of a quarterback. He could be a great quarterback in this league, even a Hall of Famer. But he'll never be that guy. Like that guy? No, that's once in a lifetime freakish. And we couldn't win with that guy. We got lucky one year because of, it's a shitty AFC. And you got a couple breaks. You end up in the Super Bowl and you get embarrassed because you didn't belong in the Super Bowl next to San Francisco. It's not Danny's fault. But notice how you couldn't do anything else after that. Because it's a one-off. It's, that's all it was. Just a freak moment. And you got there because you had a freak. But this guy, you'll never see anything like this again. I'll be so dead before the Dolphins ever see anything even close to this. This is something that just, it's like Dwayne Wade. It's just like, these are the things that happen just once in a lifetime. Okay? And we failed this guy over and over and over again because we can't do the same things they can't do now. They can't block and they can't run. And so this guy only had left side of the line and he had to make a quick decision. Oh, man, the line, Danny only gets sacked 12 times, 15, 18 times a year. It's because of him. It wasn't the offensive line because he had no time. So he had to get rid of it quickly. We can't live lives like that. Quarterbacks need to have some of those breaks where they have 3 seconds and 4 seconds. And we just never did it for him. And we're not doing it for him. And that's how you win with those kind of guys. They're not going to win with their legs. Brady's not going to win with their legs. Manning's not going to win with their legs. They're going to win with their brain and their arms. But if you don't block for these kind of quarterbacks, you don't run the ball, you don't win shit. That's all it is. It's simple math. It's really not that difficult. But you must run the ball. You must block. And for 45 years, we can't figure that out. 45 years, dude. 45 years. Insanity. By the way, Toyota of Hollywood, that's insanity also. You go there and you know it's insane to have 2,000 vehicles. It's insane to have over 1,200 vehicles that are brand new and a selection that is just absolutely amazing. You want a Camry? Okay, well, here's 100 of them. Huh? Yeah, 100. All kinds of styles. Oh, Tundra? Oh, well, here's like 50 of them. Oh, you want a Supra? We got a few of those too. Oh, you're looking for a Prius? We got it. I mean, that's what you want. You're looking for a vehicle, and now you're going to have a selection of 20, 30, 50, 100 different styles, all that to choose from. That's why you want to go to Toyota of Hollywood. And you're also under roof. So you're away from the humidity, and you're away from the rain. So when they say, oh, it's too hot, oh, it's raining, doesn't matter. Not at Toyota of Hollywood, 1841 North State Road 7. Herbie Lopez does great work out there. They're right on 441 between Sheridan and Sterling. Tell them that Big O sent you, and they will take care of you at Toyota of Hollywood. The Camry LE sedan, $299 a month, 0 down right now at Toyota of Hollywood. No news on Austin Jackson, Lisa. They won't tell us shit. They don't have to tell us anything till next week. Yes, sir.
The Dolphins have released veteran tight end Farrell Brown.
Oh, Farrell Brown.
Yeah.
I remember some guys out there were like talking about Farrell Brown. I'm like, bro, he's just a Jag, whatever. He's a blocking tight end. He's nothing. You can replace him easy. But Tanner Connor and Julian Hill are, they've been given it's like this has like been a college frat for them. God bless them, dude. They've been pulling an NFL check for years now and done nothing. But we'll see what happens. And, Darren Waller is completely mentally in. He's ready to go, dude. It's a secret weapon, is what people don't understand. You all look at him and say, what the hell's going on? I don't know what's going on with Darren Waller. He can't practice. What mental reps? What the hell is this? And the Dolphins are playing chess, and the rest of us are playing checkers. He's running routes, catching everything in sight, burning everybody. Not that they have any DBs, but he's burning them all. And they're like, oh, no, we've got to keep this under wraps. And in 2 weeks against the Indianapolis Colts, we will unleash the Kraken named Darren Waller. And Darren is going to have 157 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Indianapolis Colts. And the joke is going to be on me and on you for making fun of them and Darren Waller and mental reps and all of that. And he's going to win my bet for the week. Sean, do you have news for us? Because I think I saw the window open there.
It was just my fault. I forgot to close the first window.
Oh, okay. So you didn't butt dial. Okay. All right. True Fin fan, please give Cody a blind ass fan alert. #moron. Well, you sent in a super chat. Well, that is definitely going to get that blind ass fan alert. Go for it.
Blind ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind ass fan coming through.
There we go. All right. Big O. Yes, go ahead.
Real quick, I just want to say, because the tweet I believe that he's referring to was when Cody said that I believe Justin Herbert is the embodiment of, I got to find the wording. I'm trying to find it right now. I lost it because of refresh of Marino, basically, is what he said.
Oh, God, no.
And then everybody jumped on him, and he said that's because Herbert is better than Tua.
Oh, but he's just he didn't even see Marino. He doesn't know anything. That's all right.
So I don't know necessarily if it's a blind ass fan or just a.
Run for cover. Grab the earmuffs. Hide the children. Our IQ is being sucked into a wormhole. Save your brain cells. Stupid chat. Stupid chat. Stupid chat.
I would go with that one. Yeah. Yeah. Big O, would you agree that Greer is a better scout than GM? His picks are okay, but extending a bad coach, I don't know if he extended him or even signed him. I'm not exactly sure. That's the thing. And gave out some bad player extensions, allowed Tua to rely on Skyler last year, etc. That's where the head coach fails on the Skyler thing. Although Skyler has played well for the Steelers, so I don't know. Not exactly sure. We'll find out. That's kind of weird. Now, as for See, I've already explained this several times, and you're probably, now that we're in football season, there's a lot of people that are coming back and they don't listen all the time. I've explained my theory on this. Okay. Mike McDaniel doesn't fit anything in Chris Greer's life. Anything. Chris Greer was a football guy, is a football guy. His brother is a hockey guy who became an NHL player and now a GM. His dad's a football guy. They both worked under the Belichick and then Parcells tree. So they're old school, hard nose, all of that stuff. When he gets the job as a GM, the first thing he does, he hires a Belichick disciple. And then they fire him, which they had to fire him because he sucked. But the worst part about it is then he goes and hires somebody that doesn't resemble anything in his family, in his past, and everything else that he's done. And that's the part that, as the late, great Mad Dog would say, I put it to my nosy and it don't smell so rosy. It doesn't make sense. So if we get to the fork in the road and McDaniel is fired and Greer stays, then that tells me that somebody else influenced the McDaniel decision and even maybe extension. And Greer, who's the nice guy that plays along, and maybe because of that coach is why he said this offseason, sometimes I listen to my coaches a little too much, which he never said that before, but he'll say it with this guy. And then you look at this draft, and it was completely different than any McDaniel draft because it was focused on fat people. And that's not what he does. He doesn't focus on guards. And he brought in a whole bunch of fat guys in the middle next to Sealer to help out his future head coach in Weaver. As they say, something is rotten in Denmark. I don't know what it is, but I put it to my nosy and it don't smell so rosy. So I have a problem with this. So that's where I'm kind of torn on all of this, And hey, listen, those of you that want Ross to sell, you want Greer, you want McDaniel fired, you want Tua cut or traded or whatever. Hey, bro, you have a case for all of that if you want. Okay? Whatever. We can disagree on it. But I as I've mentioned, so much dysfunctional crap has gone on for decades here. I'm not going to put it past them that this is going on also. So that's all I can tell you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum, Solana, or Chainlink donations. And we always appreciate that. Where is Bitcoin right now? Bitcoin is at 112,300. It's in a beautiful buying zone is what it is. Big O, we needed fat people last season. We lost a few the year before. I don't want anyone to get fired. I just want to win some damn games. We all do, bro. None of us want anybody to get fired. We want continuity. We want success. We want to have a football team that can get it done every year. That's what we want. We want a respectable team. We want what we used to have back when I was young. A team where we were loaded with pride. The only thing I have pride for are the fans. That's it. Pride for the Big E's and the NorCals and the Sports Babes and the Doll Freakies and what is it? Dolphin Maniacs, right? Or whatever. I mean, there's so many of those. Those are the people that I'm prideful for because they're amazing. But the team, Jesus, hard, bro. It's hard. It's all make-believe. We all have to lie to ourselves about winning or how good they're going to be or whatever. But man, I can definitely count on the Worldwide Dolphin Club. I can count on Fins Nation UK. You know, I can count on them. Can't count on the damn team. Let's see. McLaurin signs $96 million extension with the Skins. Overpaid. Well, they're also paying him for everything else he's done, and he's like he's like a legacy player, not a legacy, a legendary player for them. He's a Ring of Honor or whatever the hell they call it there when it's all said and done. I get what they're doing. It might be slightly overpaid, but he's a monster receiver, and you've got an opportunity to make a lot of noise in the playoffs, maybe even get to the Super Bowl. You don't want to lose Terry McLaurin now at this point, and this is the moment. I would rather see you win with Terry McLaurin than you pull a Don Mattingly, where the poor guy retires, and then that's when the Yankees go on and win a bunch of titles. And it's like, damn, dude, you know, like Don Mattingly is supposed to be a dude that retires with a championship, you know? Just like that guy. So I would like to, I'm glad that they signed Terry McLaurin and they showed him the respect. Nobody was going to give him a 5-year deal. He's going to be 31 this year, you know, and he can still play. But you're not going to get, maybe that third year will be kind of rough, but I think you can still get a good productive year or two out of him, and you can make a championship. Hey, Art Monk played to a later age and was very productive throughout and helped the Skins in those days win a lot. So I would trust Terry McLaurin at this point still in his career. Listen, I'm a Terry McLaurin guy. I wanted him for the Dolphins when he came out of Ohio State. Anybody that follows the show, you know, I was a big Terry McLaurin fan. Wanted him badly, and unfortunately, we didn't end up getting him. Why would Doug and Dable choose the Giants Jags jobs if they couldn't come to Miami to work with a young franchise QB? I'm not exactly sure they were ever offered the job at this point. So, you know, they still haven't figured it out over there themselves. Last time I checked, the guy that's here was in the MVP race. You know what I'm saying? So Dable's guys are not in the MVP race, but Tua is. What else do we have? With Mr. Capri Pants on the sidelines will lead the league in pre-snap penalties and lost challenges for sure. That's kind of been the MO. That's kind of what's happened, right? Unfortunately, that's been the problem. All right, so Shamplin, Jackson Carman, Mike Hilton, Boone, McKenzie, the lineman, Stilley, Mason Brooks, Ethan Robinson, Farrell Brown, Addison West, A.J. Henning. These are some of the cuts already for the Miami Dolphins. As remember, tomorrow, Tuesday at 4 o'clock, is the cut down of 53. Wouldn't be surprised if there's a trade or two where they're swapping back-end roster guys or something like that. Nothing. They're not going to be giving away any picks for any kind of, you know, major picks or anything for anybody. That's not going to happen, folks. So stop trying to convince yourselves that there's some kind of urgency when it's all said and done for these guys. Just be happy that Darren Waller has taken mental reps and he knows how to wear a uniform. It's huge. It's huge. He's ready to go. We've got the Canes and Notre Dame on Sunday night. It's going to be fun, dude. Sunday night at 7. Notre Dame's favored by 2, 7:30 at Hard Rock Stadium. Over and under is 49.5. And you know what's pretty cool about this matchup, right? I saw a list for Heisman Trophy candidates. Sam Levitt's in it. Cade Klubenek, the quarterback from Clemson. Lenore Sellers, the quarterback from South Carolina. Garrett Nussmeier, the QB from LSU, Arch Manning, quarterback from Texas, Jeremiah Smith, the wide receiver of Ohio State. And then there's two other guys on that list. One is Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame, who's a stud, and then Carson Beck, quarterback from Miami. So it's pretty cool that if this is the season that the Canes start to become relevant again, which I believe it's going to be, I'm predicting an 11-1 year, and they get to the ACC championship game. Okay? I got them getting there to that point, and that would be enough to, I think, get them into the playoffs when it's all said and done, which would be really cool. Then we'll see where they're at that point. But I am expecting them to have one hell of a season, and they get tripped up once. I actually think they beat Notre Dame and Florida. I really do. I think they're going to go 2-0 here, and we're going to get a lot of momentum. And then that schedule is not as challenging. I love this team because they are what the Dolphins aren't. They're physical at the line of scrimmage. And if you have a responsible quarterback, look, Carson Beck isn't going to make as many wow plays as Cam Ward. But if you can play defense with that offense and that running game, you don't need the wow plays anymore. You just got to play the game the right way. Carson Beck could easily do that. He can easily put up numbers. If they've got the right playmakers at wide receiver and at tight end, I love this. And the fact that we've got two Heisman Trophy candidates part of this game really adds to the excitement of the season. You know, it's really, really cool. I am legitimately pumped. If they solve this defensive coordinator issue, and man, we're finally going to have the kind of season that we haven't had for the Canes or the Dolphins. We're not going to have it for the Dolphins this year. You can forget about that. But I think we got a chance, man. I really do. I think we got a chance. As Jimmy Johnson would say, we got a shot to be special. Said that back in the day when they weren't special. Well, I think the Canes can be special. I'm looking forward to it. All right. Let's see what we got here going on. What else do we have here? All right, let me get to music. By the way, any of you that listen in Central Florida, I will be there tomorrow. I'm going to be at the Hard Rock in Orlando tomorrow for the Struts and Dirty Honey. You know, give me a break. Dirty Honey is like one of my favorite young rock bands out there. I go see them wherever I can, and I love the Struts. My wife loves the Struts. I've got her already on Dirty Honey too, so that's cool. I am going to see one of the better concerts I'm going to see all year tomorrow at Hard Rock Live in Orlando. So tomorrow, that's why we pushed Furones over to today. Tomorrow we'll do a show, probably be done before noon, maybe 11:30, 11:45, noon, and I'm in the car and I'm out of here. Me and the wife are taking off, and we're going to go see the concert. If you are going to the Struts and Dirty Honey tomorrow at Hard Rock Live in Orlando, give me a shout out. Love to say hi. Love to meet you. You know, so come on out there. The other thing is, Sean, did you see this MJ Kobe card that went for $12.9 million? Did you check that out?
Yeah, I did 12.5, but then I was outbid at the last little bit of time there. But I was in the running all the way up to the end.
So, you know who won it? You know who won the auction? Yeah. Do you know who Mr. Wonderful is? Okay, Kevin O'Leary from the Shark Tank and all that. Well, Kevin O'Leary, along with two other gentlemen, Matt Allen, who was in Spain, and Paul Warshaw, who was in Miami. These three gentlemen together were on a Zoom call till 3 a.m. during this auction to find out if they ended up winning this card. So they paid $12.9 million for the card. Now they own several cards. Matt Allen and Paul Warshaw are like monsters in the collection business. And they own other cards. He didn't elaborate on it. I saw a whole interview with Kevin O'Leary on CNBC this morning on it. And so just amazing, dude. It's the most expensive card ever in history. And it's a card that has the signatures of both Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. And obviously it's a rarity. And it's not like there's hundreds of those. It's just like, I think it's one of one or some shit, or one of three or something. I don't know what it is, but it is rare. And he talked about how they only buy super rare cards, you know, but crazy stuff, dude. $12.9 million to pay for a card, and it will probably go up in value in time. You know what I mean? It's insanity. I'd rather spend $12.9 million on Bitcoin. It'll grow a lot more, but okay. I get it. What can I tell you? Let me do a little musicians. All right, let's start off with the musicians born today on August 25th. Let's start off with Norman Rogers from Public Enemy, born in my year, 1966. Who else celebrating? Vivian Campbell, guitarist with Def Leppard. He also played with Whitesnake and Dio too. He was a member of Dio's first couple of albums. When you see what is it? Holy Diver and those kind of songs. He's not, I don't know if he's in the Holy Diver video, but there's another one where Vivian is in that video. And then he's been a part of Def Leppard forever, born in 62. Billy Ray Cyrus, Achy Breaky Heart, and Miley's dad, born in 61. Elvis Costello, the great Elvis Costello. Declan McManus, born in 1954 on this date. Rob Halford, one of the greatest heavy metal singers of all time with Judas Priest, born in 1951. This list got strong. Gene Simmons from Kiss, bassist and singer, born in 1949. Crazy. Danny Smythe, founding member of the Box Tops, born in 1948. Walter Williams from the OJs, born in 1942. Jesus Christ. And Leonard Bernstein, born in 1918. Obviously, West Side Story and many other things. Legend. All right. That is musicians. Damn, that was an impressive ass list, dude. Like, really impressive. All right, let's go with other folks, famous people born on today. And remember, if I don't give you the age, because this list is deep, that means they passed away. TV personality, Monty Hall from The Price is Right, born in this date in 1921. Tennis Hall of Famer, Alethea Gibson, born in 27. Sean Connery, born in 1930. Never tell Sean Connery to tell your dog to sit. TV personality Regis Philbin, born in 1931. Actor Tom Skerritt, dude. Top Gun, born in 1933. He is 92 today. Bogies all over like fireflies. All right, Hall of Famer Raleigh Fingers, mustache, born in 46. He is 79 today. Writer Martin Amis, born in 49. Actor John Savage, born in 49. He is 76. Filmmaker Tim Burton, born in 58. He's 67. Actor Ali Walker, born in 61, 64. Actor Blair Underwood, born in 64. He's 61. TV cook Rachel Ray, born in 68, she's 57. Musician Joe D. Messina, born in 70, 55. Supermodel Claudia Schiffer, born in 70, she's 55. Actress Rachel Bilson, the OC, born in 81, she's 45. Actress Blake Lively, she's tirelessly in court, born in 87, she's 38. And China Ann McClain, the actress, is born in 98, she is 27. Sean Stanley, do you, sir, have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir. Renee Michelle turns 38. Kylie Ray, she is 34. The Russian bear Ivan Koloff was born on this date in 1942. David Young turns 53. Crash Holly was born on this date in 1971 and member of the Vision. The Tribal Thief, he wears the Shuafala. Bronson Reed, he is 37 today, August 25th, 2025.
All right. Let's see. Let's move over to music history. What's going on today in music history on August 25th? In the past, in music history, what happened in 67? Brian Wilson returned to performing live with the Beach Boys in Honolulu after a 2-year hiatus. In 70, Elton John performed in the U.S. for the first time. His gig was at the Troubadour Club in Los Angeles. He launched a 17-date tour and the first impact Elton John would make in America. In 1979, The Knack started a 5-week run at #1 on the U.S. singles charts with My Sharona. Well, we had My Furones on. Today was My Sharona's day. So My Furones and My Sharona. How about that? In 86, Paul Simon released his epic Graceland album. It features You Can Call Me Al, the title track, The Boy in the Bubble, and Diamonds on the Sole of Her Shoes. In 87, the Cars released their 6th studio album, Door to Door. It features You Are the Girl. In 88, Metallica released their 4th studio album, And Justice for All, which featured One. In 92, Eric Clapton released Unplugged. It featured Tears in Heaven, which he wrote for his son. What a story, dude. God, no parent should go through that. Man. In 92, the Wallflowers released their self-titled debut album, Ashes to Ashes. In 94, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant taped the show in London for MTV's Unplugged series. It was later released as Unleaded. Let's see. In 98, on this date, Lauryn Hill, Fugees member, released her debut solo album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. The album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200, selling 422,624 copies in the first week, which broke a record for sales by a female artist. It featured 3 hit singles, Do Wop That Thing, X Factor, and Everything is Everything. The lead single peaked at #1 on the U.S. charts. The latter 2 singles peaked within the top 40 to promote the album. Hill did performances on Saturday Night Live and the Billboard Music Awards before embarking on a sold-out tour where she was late for every single appearance. I'm sorry, I added that. I'm sorry. Worldwide concert tour, and the album became the first hip-hop album to win the Grammy for the Album of the Year. Can you imagine if this woman wasn't lazy? She might have had a long career. She might have been able to produce more music. Or was she chicken shit? And after hitting it so big, it scared the crap out of her. And so she took on this attitude and was late and was hard to work with and all that kind of shit, because deep down inside, she was a coward on trying to challenge the success, because it's not easy. It's not easy when you're men at work and your first album comes out and it's a monster, and then you got to live up to it. And they continued. They tried. Cargo was all right and all that, and it got worse. But it's not easy. It's not easy when you're Asia and your first album is a success, and then you've got to then follow up. and it's scary. It's intimidating. I wonder about that with Lauryn Hill. Very talented singer, but man, you coming off the Fugees, and then you come out with this solo album that is just slamming, and you could never live up to it after that. So was she really lazy and dumb, or was she a coward? We'll never have that answer, will we? In 98, Godsmack released their self-titled second studio album. In 2001, after shooting the music video Rock the Boat in the Bahamas, 22-year-old Aaliyah died in a plane crash along with 8 others when they overloaded the aircraft and it went down shortly after takeoff. Sad. In 2009, Arctic Monkeys released their third studio album, Humbug, in the U.S. It featured Crying Lightning, Cornerstone, and My Propeller. In 2013, Miley Cyrus' Wrecking Ball became Cyrus's first #1 song on the charts after the release of its controversial music video. In 2017, The War on Drugs released their fourth studio album, A Deeper Understanding. It features Thinking of a Place and Pain. And that is it for music history. Let me see, because this one also has birthdays. Sometimes it gives me one or two that I did not yet. Jeff Downs of the Buggles, Yes, and Asia. Speaking of Asia, is 73 today. John McHugh of Susie and the Banshees, born in 55. Shock G of Digital Underground was born today in 63. These are some that weren't on the list, actually. And that's it. That's what happened today in music history. All right. Oh, man. And today, by the way, also, well, it wasn't today, it was yesterday, but it was over the weekend. I saw this and I thought it was really cool. My favorite Cure album was released, The Head on the Door. And if you're a Cure fan, for me, In Between Days, Kyoto Song, The Blood, 6 Different Ways, Push, The Baby Screams, Close to Me, A Night Like This, Screw, Sinking. When a band just is on a roll and there's not a bad song, there's not even an average song on the album. Every song's just awesome. And some of them legendary, because 6 Different Ways and In Between Days, those are just absolutely legendary songs. Close to Me, A Night Like This. These are songs that, like, you know, most Cure fans know, but Sinking and Screw and Push and The Baby Screams. Oh my God, these are some just awesome tunes. So over the weekend, 40 years, which of course just reminds me of how old I am. 40 years. I remember jamming The Head on the Door on my Walkman while I was walking through the Vatican. Interesting. Had a couple of tapes on me. It was the 80s. Walkmans. So just fun. Fun times. Walking the Vatican. What was I? I don't know, 18, 20 or something. I don't know what it was. 19. Maybe I was. No, I think I was like 18 actually. And I'm just jamming The Cure and walking through, you know, the Vatican and just looking at everything and all the paintings and everything going on in the walls and just crazy stuff, dude. Crazy stuff. But it was fun. It was an experience back in the day, being able to walk through the Vatican and jamming The Head on the Door. Yeah. Anyway, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. By the way, we are, what is it, like 6 days away now from from the start of the Canes season. If you're looking for a Canes shirt or jersey or hat or whatever it is with a Canes logo on it practically, or maybe something for the bar, please visit our friends at Caneswear, either online or in person, and use our code BIG010. You will get 10% off at Caneswear. Go see Brett and Jeff and Jack and all the great people, Ken Graff out there, all the great people out there at Caneswear, man. They know how to get it done, and they've been sponsors of ours for many, many years now. Every day on this platform, we're now going on our 6th year here on the platform by ourselves, and they've been with us every single day. So please support the great sponsors that support us every single day. And that is Brett at Caneswear, man. It's great people. Horn Dog says, Lauryn Hill album is still fire. It's a shame that never followed up that album. And I wonder, bro, I wonder, did she get intimidated by all that success and like, oh, how am I going to live up to it? Alexis says she got lazy but left a classic miseducation of Lauryn Hill. No, it's freaking album. Freaking amazing album. Amazing album. What else? Dolphins bet the farm on Tua, and it backfires. They'll sound like politicians when they talk about bringing competition at the QB position. We all know it's Tua for the front office. Nobody ever that's the problem with a lot of you. Like the other guy that didn't get that the running game is the real issue for Marino or for Tua or whatever. There's a lot of you out there like Dolphin. Like a lot of you really don't get football. Nobody brings in competition for their number one pick. Then why would it be your number one pick? Who does that? Nobody does that. And by the way, the guy's been in the MVP race. The only time Tua is a problem is when he is injured. That's it. Too many of you just don't know football. That's the sad part. You know? Oh, I think Lauryn Hill got a lot of help with that album and never gave those individuals their props, so people didn't want to work with her. That's my guess. Could be. Either way, that adds to my coward philosophy or theory about Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill's a coward. She's got no balls, no guts whatsoever. She had a successful album. It scared the shit out of her. And she knew she couldn't live up to it, and she ran away. And maybe because she had help, she knew she couldn't do it. You know, she wasn't with the rest of the guys in the Fugees, and maybe whoever helped her out in that solo album, whatever. And yeah, who knows? But I would bet that there's a shit ton of coward in her. I would go with coward instead of lazy. That's what I would call Lauryn Hill. She didn't follow up that album because she's got no balls. It's scary, dude. It's scary when you come out with that first album and it's a hit, and then they're asking you, let's go, follow up. And that's when you prove what you are. I think I have a saying on this show that any pro player can have a good week, a good month, and even a good year. It's the guy that comes back the next year and the next year after that proves it, right? Because you can be, what's the name of the Anderson guy for the Browns? He quarterbacked 1 year and they gave him the money, and it was a mistake. Derek Anderson. Matt Flynn had a couple of games. I had a bunch of Dolphins. Oh, we should trade for Matt Flynn. Did you see the couple of games he had with Green Bay filling it? No, but I didn't want to do that. Seattle did, and it was a mistake. You know, that this happens a lot. What's it called? What I always love using this example too. Tennessee wide receiver. He was in Buffalo. He was the number 2 to Eric Moulds. He had a really nice season, 1 or 2 seasons opposite of Moulds. Atlanta gave him the money thinking that he was a legit number 1, and they found out he wasn't. And he was just living life off of Eric Moulds. I forgot his name now. I'm forgetting his name. But you get fooled like that. And this is what happens. And so it's easy to have that. Well, it's not easy, but it's good fortunes that you have that early success as an artist. Okay. You get the breaks, you get the hits. Okay. Now you got to follow it up. And you got to prove that first album wasn't a fluke. And that's what Lauryn Hill proved. That the miseducation of Lauryn Hill was just an aberration. It was a fluke. It was luck. That's it. There was no skill. Skill is, what Beyonce does and what Taylor Swift does and what, whoever you want to go that has been just pouring. U2, my favorite band, that they still get hits every album 40 years later, 45 years later. They'll take out an album and they'll still get a hit or two. And, that's because your talent is real. Lauryn Hill's talent wasn't real as a solo artist. She was a cog. She wasn't the lead dog. She was just a cog. And she got lucky with one album and then couldn't ever do it again. So Horn Dog, I like that. I like that theory of like some people helped her and then she's a dick. Everybody knows it. And nobody wants to work with her. And so they didn't want to work with her again. And so she's got no juice. And since she can't do it by herself, she can't be like Madonna, who for decades kept changing with the times and kept having hits and hits and hits, or you're Billy Joel. And for decades, you had all kinds of albums and hits and stuff like that. Yeah, it's hard, man. It's hard. You can come up with a hit, but you got to keep coming back. Peerless Price. Thank you, Edward Thurston Howe. Thank you, Terrence. Appreciate you. Peerless Price. That's the guy. That's the guy. What else do we have? Lauren was a side piece to Wyclef. They had drama and it destroyed the band. Okay. Whatever it was, dude, all I know is she's a complete fraud. That's all I can tell you. She's a complete fraud. So she was a good band member, a good cog, a rotational player, maybe even a Scottie Pippen. I don't know, because Scottie Pippen, when Jordan retired, he took them to the Eastern Conference Finals. So that's accomplishing a lot more on his own than Lauryn Hill. So, yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, that's what she was. In reality, she was like a decent band member, but she wasn't a number one. She wasn't a legit star. It's just she got fluked. She made one album, probably got help, like this guy says, like Horn Dog says, and she got lucky and then could never do it again because it was luck. It wasn't skill. So, yeah, besides being lazy and an asshole, she's also a fraud. There's no doubt about that. Lauryn Hill's a fraud. You know who's also fraudulent? The Cincinnati Bengals. Did you see this? Boomer Esiason ratted them out, bro. So the Bengals are taking some heat over the way they handled invitations to their Ring of Honor event. The Bengals announced last month that they will induct former offensive lineman Dave Lampin and former cornerback Lamar Parrish into their Ring of Honor. A ceremony will be held during the halftime of the team's game against the Jets, October 26 at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati. Lampin and Parrish will join 10 other former Bengals who are in the Ring of Honor. Four-time Pro Bowl quarterback Boomer Esiason is one of those 10. And he has, of course, been invited to the ceremony. But that's where the trouble starts for the Bengals. During Friday morning's edition of Boomer and Gio on The Fan, Esiason revealed that he received what was essentially a generic invite to the Ring of Honor ceremony. He is one of 10 players in it. And you're going to send something general. He read an email on the air that got from the Bengals, And it stated he will receive 2 complimentary tickets with an opportunity to purchase 1 additional ticket. The Bengals organization is excited to celebrate our Legends community and kindly invite you and a guest to join us in celebrating Dave Lampins and Lamar Parrish and Ring of Honor weekend in October, culminating with our game Sunday, the 26th, when the Bengals take on the Jets. Esiason said the email read, more details are below. We kindly ask you to RSVP no later than Friday, August 22nd. You and a guest can receive 2 complimentary tickets with an opportunity to purchase an additional one if you wish. For those of you planning to travel from out of town, the Bengals reserved a block of rooms at a nearby hotel. Esiason would have to pay for his own room according to the email. And if you're traveling in for the weekend from out of town, we have secured a block of rooms at the Renaissance Hotel at the preferred discount rate. Now all the fans know that those ex-stars are going to stay at the Renaissance. Okay. Anyway, rooms are limited, so please book directly for the early and best rate. I mean, the cheapness is just oozes out of them. We look forward to hosting you in the jungle for an unforgettable weekend. Don't hesitate to reach out to me or another guy on the staff with any questions. Thank you. Corey Dillon, by the way, also a former running back and on the Ring of Honor on social media, said he didn't even receive an invitation. He tweeted out, at least my guy Boomer got an invite and email. It's just, this is why that organization, Stephen Ross wouldn't do that. He'd pay for the plane tickets and the hotel and bring them in. No questions asked. Like, it's just really, it's disgusting. It just is. It's not that Boomer doesn't have the money. Of course he has the money. But you all print money in the NFL. And especially the Bengals, they make more money than most. You know why? They don't spend anything. They spend less in everything from production to scouting to coaching to everything. They spend less than everybody else on all this. They have their number 1 pass rusher holding out, and they're taking offers. Do you think that Stephen Ross, with a team that has the potential, not this one, theirs, I'm talking about the Bengals, at least there's some talk about Super Bowl. You definitely have no Super Bowl aspirations without Trey Hendrickson in there. But do you think that in any world, Stephen Ross, if his team even has a chance, an inkling at a Super Bowl, he would allow his best defensive player to be holding out? Of course not. But Mike Brown, of course, would. It's disgusting, dude. But you know what? Kudos to Boomer Esiason for exposing it. I think that is absolutely awesome. I got to say. That is really cool. I'm glad he exposed them because they're just a shit organization, dude. They just are. Anyway, don't forget, folks, to please smash the hell out of the like button. Thank you all out there. 135 of you already have smashed it, and more can. So please remember, when you're watching or listening, please smash the hell out of the like button. And, of course, you can also make a donation anytime you're watching or listening, Cash App or Venmo. You can send in your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of good stuff. We never worry about all of that, and we thank you for supporting us here on the show. All right, what else do we have going on? Big O, U2 is cool, but they haven't had a hot in years. Actually, in their last album, they actually had a couple hits. You may want to go back and look at it. But they don't take out albums like every year or something. I mean, they've been at it for 45 years. Mike No-Go Zones. Good afternoon, everyone. Big O, will you be doing any live shows at venues for the upcoming season? There's a chance. I'm waiting on something this week that I've been working on for several weeks, but it's for the Canes, not for the Dolphins, actually. So yeah, no. Right now, the Dolphin stuff is going to be in studio. I didn't, to be quite honest, I didn't even try to sell Dolphin pre and post game. Okay. Didn't even try to sell it. So, you know what I'm saying? Anybody out there has got a sports bar restaurant that wants to host us, we'll do it. But I did not even go out and make an effort, to be quite honest. Yeah. So, it's just, it's tough, man. It's tough. Boomer is a millionaire. He can afford his own hotel. Yeah, but that's not the point. Yeah, it's not the point. That's the problem. You know, you have to actually, for something like this, you got to be you're a billionaire. They're millionaires. You know what I mean? So take care of the people that took care of you and lifted that organization. It's only 10 people. 10 people, 10 flights. They're paying for their own flights. They're just giving them tickets. Who gives a shit about tickets, dude? Oh, and by the way, they've got to buy the third one. That's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I disagree, bro. It's only 10, and the NFL prints money is what they do. So, you know, that to me, it's about principle, not about the fact that Boomer has money or anybody else. Corey, dude, they didn't even invite Corey Dillon. That's how cheap they are. You only have 10 people in that Ring of Honor. That's like, so it's considered like the 10 most important players in the history. And I don't even know if all 10 are with us, if all 10 can health-wise can physically go, because I don't know all 10. I don't know that off the top of my head. I don't know the Bengals history that deep. There might be an older guy that can't make it. Like maybe there'll be some guys that can't make it for the Dolphins, or, you know, or other Rings of Honor around the NFL, guys that have passed away or too old. So you're not, you may not even be paying for all 10 is my point. Might only be 8 or 9. Well, it's definitely 9 because you didn't even bother with Corey Dillon. It's just terrible. It just is. Just is. Yeah, I agree with that. This guy Cody is an absolute idiot. All he does is keep posting crap. You could get rid of this Cody 67 idiot because all he does is continue to post a ton of times, and there's no spamming here, bro. You know what I mean? Make your point and move on. 100 times, we don't need it. You know what I'm saying? So you gone, Cody. You're going to have to get another email to sign on, and if you keep doing stupid shit, you'll get blocked again like many others have had over the years. And by the way, once you're blocked, there's no coming back, bro. There's no coming back. So, you know, go troll somewhere else, my brother. Go have fun. What else? So what can you expect from the ownership of teams in the NFL? No. Stephen Ross would not do that. That's Mike Brown all by himself, dude. Mike Brown is in a low class all by himself. Okay? Nobody else is in the low class area where Mike Brown is. That's just the reality. All right, folks, we're going to wrap it up here on the program. We appreciate all of you out there, except Cody, of course. We thank, of course, those of you that hit the like button, those of you out there, as always, supporting the show, supporting our amazing sponsors. We thank David Furones. If you missed that, you can rewind. Sean will put up the interview and many rants. We shall see all of you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.